Hey guys, we are back with some more Atlanta Thrashers franchise mode. And this one we are going to continue the year 3 offseason and head into year number 4. We started in the last one after we got eliminated, I believe it was in the first round against the New Jersey Devils. So we proceeded onto the draft and we actually got a little bit done in free agency as well. We offered for our former players Ray Ferraro, as well as Sheen Donovan, Brett Clark, in addition to Kip Miller and Sean Van Allen, who we are signing for depth just in case we need them. So we are the front runner for Brett Clark. Sheen Donovan, we need to offer him more. We have the best offer for Ray Ferraro, and he does indeed sign his contract with us. Kip Miller, we are the best offer for him, and Sean Van Allen, we are the best offer for him as well. So we just need to re-offer Donovan here. I'll give him 1.13 for 2 years. And now apparently our offer for Brett Clark is a joke. Alright, so we're going to have to offer him once again. There you go, 1.14. These guys are driving a hard bargain here. Sean Van Allen as well. Okay, we'll meet his demands. Okay, so all these players basically keep going back and forth between saying, you're the best offer so far, and is this a joke? So I think I'm just going to skip over until we have all these guys signed, or we don't. Who knows? Maybe we don't get any of these guys signed with the way this is going right now. But basically, I'm just going to jump ahead until we have a decision from all 4 of these guys, basically, because as of right now, there's no progress being made whatsoever for whatever reason. I don't know how high I'm willing to go for all these players, but they're certainly testing my patience here a little bit. Okay, Kip Miller signs, Brett Clark signs, Sean Van Allen signs, and Sheen Donovan signs. We got all 4 of them, and it's a good thing because I was not willing to go much higher than what they were all asking for. That was quite the ridiculous negotiation period there, but we got it done. We got everyone on board. So we now have 22 players on our roster, including Heatley, who's injured, but he will be back to full health very soon. So if we sort by position here, we have 4 right wingers, we have 6 centers, and 3 left wingers. So we'll need a center to play left there, but that's okay. And on D, you have 7 guys, and then Nermanen and Dubilowitz in net. Do we have a backup goaltender? No, we do not. Or, a third stringer, I should say. We do not. So we're going to have to go out and get one of those. And we're also, we have an 8th defenseman in the minors in Exelby. I don't think there's too many other good players in free agency at this point anyway. I mean, there weren't too many good players to begin with, and now there's even less. So, yeah, we're just going to have to deal with what we have, I suppose. But before we advance to preseason of year number 4, we do need to get ourselves a 3rd-string goaltender. So we'll just get this guy on a 2-year deal. And a 3rd-string goaltender is now signed, so we are now good to move into the preseason of year number 4. Hall of Fame inductees Ray Bourque gets the call. So does Paul Coffey, Larry Murphy, and Glenn Anderson. The training camp development report, we have Heatley growing in balance, Higgins growing in aggression, bravery, screening, and positioning, Kobe growing in leadership, Rick Nash growing in balance by 2 and leadership as well, Stahl in determination and puck handling, Ballard in aggression and getting open, Clark in shooting range, Dubilowitz in professionalism and passing, Pickett in screening and faceoffs, and a lot of other players in our minor leagues as well. Now we have to set our captains. So last season our captain was, I believe it was Ray Ferraro. He's now 40 years of age. However, I think we need to move in a young direction for our captain now, as this is a younger team, and I feel like we can rely on some of our younger players now, especially Kovalchuk, Heatley, Stahl. Well, maybe not so much Heatley because he often, very often, gets injured, so I don't think I want it to be him. I would say could be Kobe, could be Stahl. So it appears Ferraro isn't even the best when it comes to leadership on our team. We have guys like Kobe at a 16 for leadership, Heatley at a 16 as well, Peltonen and Ballard at 17 for leadership. So I think, honestly, I think it's got to be Kobe because he had a 92-point season. I mean, a part of that is thanks to Eric Stahl, the emergence of the rookie sensation Eric Stahl. But he's been with us for quite a while now. I believe, 3 years. Went from 59 points to 62 to 92. So I think it is time for Kovalchuk to take on the captaincy, as he's also got that big contract now at $2.4 million for the next 2 years. So I think it's time for him to take on some responsibility, and I believe he can do it just fine with that 16 team player and 16 leadership, 16 determination. Alternates, I think you got to give one to Stahl after his performance last year. There's no doubt in my mind you have to give one to him. And then, well, I guess we'll leave Kabale as the second alternate. So Kobe, Stahl, Kabale are your captains for this year. So here's the coaches' lines for the start of year number 4. You have Kobe, Stahl, and Nash on the first line. Second line, Heatley, Steffen, and Higgins. Third line, Peltonen, Ferraro, and Donovan. Fourth line, Svarvedet, Van Allen, and Miller. On defense, you have Kabale and Tremblay, Pitkanen and Clark, and then Reardon and Ballard. In goal, you have, of course, Dubilowitz and Nurminen. The shootout is Heatley, Kovalchuk, Higgins, Miller, and Nash, and then extra attackers, Kovalchuk and Heatley. On the power play, you have Kobe, Stahl, Heatley, Pitkanen, and Kabale on the first unit, and then Pelton and Steffen, Nash, Ferraro, and Tremblay on the second unit. On the penalty kill, you have Stahl, Heatley, Reardon, and Ballard on the first unit. Second unit is Nash, Peltonen, Kabale, and Tremblay. Third unit, Kovalchuk, Higgins, Pitkanen, and Clark. 4-on-4, you have Heatley, Kovalchuk, Kabale, and Tremblay. And then Nash, Stahl, Pitkanen, and Clark. 3-on-3, Heatley, Kovalchuk, and Kabale. And then Nash, Stahl, and Pitkanen. Right towards the end of the preseason here, Rick Nash suffers a sports hernia today in the game against the Washington Capitals. He will miss 3 weeks. So I just decided to check out our prospects list, and Andre Mazzaros is pretty much almost NHL ready already. So we will just meet his demand, then ask for his response, and submit that offer to him, as I believe is already signed, actually. Yes, indeed he is. So welcome to the NHL, Andre Mazzaros. He's a 1.5 star. I don't know if he'll be in the NHL day one. It doesn't look like it, because his current, he's not ready for the NHL just yet, according to this. So we have sent Andre Mazzaros to Chicago to get some seasoning, but he should be ready for the NHL very soon. So the preseason grades are kind of all over the place compared to what they usually are. So I'll skip over those for right now. And as we take a look at the preseason stats, Stahl with a 10-point preseason. Don't know what else I expected, to be honest. Kovalchuk with 9, so expecting a big season out of those two for sure. And then everybody else, not so much. They're kind of So with that all being said, we will advance into the first month of the season and see how we do. The development report for October, you have Heatley growing in bravery and Kovalchuk growing in professionalism. Bunch of guys regressing there, unfortunately. But that's all right. Currently, we are sitting at 3-4-3. I believe we are second in our division, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, indeed we are. We are behind the Florida Panthers, so not the greatest record, obviously, but we are ahead of 3 other teams in our division, so I'll take that as a win. And we are also still in the we are also in a playoff spot, so I will also take that as a win. Now taking a look at the grades of our players. So defensive grades, Kabale, Stahl, Pitkanen, all really good so far to start out the season defensively, as well as Reardon and Tamer. Offensive grades, Stahl with a 79. I mean, you gotta expect that out of him at this point, I suppose. Pitkanen with a 68, Kovalchuk with a 68, 66 for Heatley. And overall grades, I mean, Stahl, that 86 overall grade, that is very impressive. Only has 9 points so far in the season. Definitely expect him to pick it up, though, if last season was an indication of anything. Or maybe it was just lucky, who knows. But still, he's definitely got the makings of a superstar in this game here. And a look at the player stats. Stahl with 9 points, Pitkanen with 8. So Pitkanen really off to a hot start this season, as he had 43 points last year, looking to build off that. So hopefully he can continue that pace. That'd be incredible if he could. Heatley with 7, Higgins and Kovalchuk and Peltonen all with 7, Kallio, Ballard, and Tremblay all with 4, Ferraro and Miller with 3, Nash, Clark, Kabale, and Van Allen all with 2, Reardon and Svarvedet with 1, and then everybody else with none so far. Checking out goaltending, Nurminen with a 925 to start out the season, and a 914 for Dubilowitz in 2 games played. So Nurminen looks to be the main guy here, even though his star rating is actually less than Dubilowitz. Dubilowitz is at a 2-star rating, and Nurminen has a 1.5, but he's got the better stats, so he is the one playing for Nathan Lehler. And that is fine with me. As long as we're getting wins, I don't care who's in net. And since it's only a month in, not going to overreact too much to our record. After all, we are in a playoff spot at the moment, so we will just simulate ahead another month and see what happens. Well, unfortunately, Danny Heatley has been injured yet again. Luckily, this time it's only day-to-day, but still another Danny Heatley injury on the books. That is not a good look. And the development report for November, you have Higgins growing in stick checking, Nash growing in aggression, Stahl growing in agility, Dubilowitz growing in puck handling, and Pitkanen growing in shot blocking, and a bunch of other growths from our free agents and minor leaguers as well. So unfortunately, at the start of December, we are 7-13-4. Not sure why that is. We are now last in our division, and in the conference, we are 12th. So that was something. That was a turn of events that I was not expecting. I mean, I guess we're still not the best of teams, but I figured we would at least be able to hold our position at this point, you know, given that we have the players that needed to win games, such as Stahl, Kovalchuk, Heatley. We have a pretty good goaltending tandem as well in Dubilowitz and Nurminen, so I'm not sure what's going on here. So we'll take a look at all the stats and might even have to take a look at the team stats. And yep, that'll do it. That'll do it. The scoring has really dried up here as Pitkanen is currently leading our team with 14 points. Well, tied for first on our team with 14 points with Stahl and Kovalchuk, 14 points each. That's unfortunate. I would venture to guess that last year was just an insane and lucky season for Eric Stahl, because currently it doesn't look like he is going to get to that point total again. It doesn't even look like he'll be point per game this year, unfortunately, as only 14 points in 24 games so far. His grade's much better, so he's playing better defensively, it looks like, but unfortunately that has come at the cost of some of his offense, and that means we are not really a good team at this point in time. So this simulation has been kind of all over the place so far. We'll go one more month. I want to see what happens, because the first month was kind of, I mean, it was all right because we were in a playoff spot, but now that we're not in a playoff spot and we're far from it, as a matter of fact, I'm going to be a bit more cautious about going through the sim. As I said, though, we'll go through at least one more month in this episode, and then we'll reevaluate at the start of January. We'll see where we're at, and if we need to, we will make some trades, potentially for draft picks, because this is not looking like a winning season, unfortunately, for your Atlanta Thrashers. So we will advance to January 1st. And to make matters worse, Rick Nash is now injured for how long? Oof, 8 weeks. Yeah, you just see it. That is the second major injury for Rick Nash this year, before in preseason, and now at the start of December. That is unfortunate. And guess who else is injured? Man, Heatley just can't catch a break. This time for 1 to 2 weeks with a bruised neck, so he'll be back soon, but still, Heatley just gets injured too much. And we are now at the point where we actually have to call up a forward from the minors. So Isalo, get up here. We just cannot catch a break with these injuries, dude. Carvelet and Ballard go down now. Wow. Luckily, they're both day-to-day. Ballard with a bruised back and Carvelet with a thumb contusion, but still, there's just 2 more down, and we are going to be without them for a little bit. And we're actually going to have to call up a defenseman replacement, as we have Higgins on the point currently. So we're calling up Exelby here for a little bit, and we have 24 players on the roster, so we're going to have to put one or both of these guys on the injury list. Yeah, I guess we'll put both of them, just in case we get any other injuries between now and whenever they come back. And the development report for December, you have Heatley growing in acceleration and hitting, Higgins growing in puck handling, Nash growing in agility, Stahl growing in getting open, Pitkanen growing in shooting range, and Stefan growing in team player, and a bunch of growths from our free agents as well. Or, well, rookies, I should say. So, unfortunately, we are 14, 18, and 6 on January 1st. We are third in our division now, above Carolina and Tampa, but we are still not in a playoff spot. We're not far from a playoff spot. We're only 2 points back of the Rangers, who are in 8th, but I don't know. This season isn't looking favorable for sure. Certainly not as favorable as last year. So I don't know what to make of this team right now. It's kind of all over the place. Again, we had that success last year, but now it appears to be falling back down to earth, unfortunately. And you know what? That honestly may not be the worst thing, considering this upcoming draft. You know, the 2005 drafts, Crosby. So we'll see what happens, but I'm not optimistic, unfortunately, about this year. To be honest, I'm thinking about trading Heatley because he just gets injured way too much. Way too much. I mean, if we look at his injury history here, he's already gotten injured 5 times in this GM mode, 3 times in the past year, 2 very major injuries. So I guess we'll see what happens going up to the trade deadline, but I feel like we could use Heatley as bait to get a really good defenseman. Considering Heatley is currently at a 3.5 star, that's generally a first liner. But again, the problem with Heatley is that he just gets injured so much, and we desperately do need a really good defenseman right now. And Pickenen's currently our best defenseman, and Pickenen's good. He's been very good for us. He has 24 points currently in 38 games, but I feel like we need somebody else to complement that, because on defense, Pickenen is basically all we have. Whereas at forward, we not only have Heatley, but we have Kovalchuk, we have Stahl, we have Rick Nash, we have, who else do we have? We have Peltonen, we have Higgins. So I just simmed through January, and yikes is all I have to say. Not only are we 16, 28, and 9 now, but Eric Stahl is also out potentially long-term due to his 58% fitness. It's a disaster, unfortunately. So we're going to place Stahl on the injury list. It did have him down as day-to-day, but that 58%, fitness, that doesn't look good. It's probably a longer-term day-to-day sort of thing. Probably more like 2 weeks. And as we take a look at the standings, we are officially in last in our division with 41 points, 7 points behind the Tampa Bay Lightning, and last in the conference, 10 points behind the Washington Capitals in 8th. I don't think it's happening this year, not the way things have been going. So I think we may have to make some trades for picks, and we also may have to consider looking into a new coach, because this is Layler's 4th year here, and he's only had 1 year of success so far, which was last year, and of course that was due to the phenomenal performances, for the most part, of Eric Stahl and Ilya Kovalchuk. But as of right now, it doesn't appear like that is happening. As we take a look at player stats, yeah, you don't like to see it. Kovalchuk with 37 points, minus 10. Heatley with 33 points. Pitkinen with 31. Higgins with 22. Peltonen with 20. Kallio with 20. Miller with 17. Ferraro with 16. Clark with 14. Ballard and Tremblay with 12. Stefan with 11. And then as we take a look at the injury lists and the stats of these guys, Stahl with 36 points in 53 games, certainly not what he was doing last year, and Nash with 12 points in 21 games. So I would say we trade a couple of these guys away. Maybe someone like Reardon. I mean, he's good defensively, but as a 33-year-old, I don't know if he fits into our window. Same could be said for Caberlet. However, I think I want to keep Caberlet around, as I think we'll be competitive sooner than we think, but last year was clearly just a pretty lucky year for us. So we have quite a few contracts coming up this year. You have Dabilowitz coming up. You have Nash, Stefan, Ferraro, and Ballard, and Exelby as well. I think... Oh, Derek McKenzie's been in the AHL for the past 2 years? Well, that was a mistake. I did not notice that until now. It appears he's been actually in the AHL for the past 4 years. I completely forgot about him. I think it would help having him on the roster at this point. I mean, it certainly couldn't hurt. So we will call him up to Atlanta. Welcome to the Atlanta Thrashers officially, Derek McKenzie. As we send down Isa Salo. I don't know why I called him up instead of Derek McKenzie. I can't even explain that myself. This episode's been going on pretty long, so, or at least on the recording it has been, so I'll end it off here. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one when we potentially trade some guys away for some draft picks, I'm guessing. And then we'll probably make our way to the draft at that point. See you guys then.